my presentation to talk about how we are building smart data architectures for smart governance. I do appreciate Mr. Mishra's point that ICT is only an enabler, but when it comes to ICT, data would be critical, data would be the core. Whether it is smart cities or digital Indias, data would be at the core. And as a data storage and data management player, we believe we have an important role to play in smart cities. And perhaps I have a case study which talks about how smart data architectures have been leveraged in countries outside of India, and they have built smart governance, so on and so forth. Thank you. Good afternoon once again. I welcome all the dignitaries on the dais and all the dignitaries in the audience. And I also welcome all the delegates who have come to attend this conference. I am Manoj, and I am leading the Smart City Initiative for NetApp in India. And we believe that we have the right experience and the right solutions to engage in our Honorable Prime Minister's initiative of Smart City. As the leader for this initiative in the country, I'll be working with all the stakeholders, including Mr. Mishra and all the other officials here, and share our experience and contribute to the success of this initiative. So the agenda which we have set for the day is, in the interest of time, will quickly give you a perspective of NetApp on Smart City. I have a slide just to talk about who is NetApp, what exactly do we do, just for some of those who have not really interacted with us or have not really spoken to them. And last but not the least, I'll talk about our experience in the smart cities, including a case study for state of California, where they have built a smart governance leveraging our technology. So smart cities, I think this morning we've got multiple perspective on smart cities, and I think by and large, I think everybody is. So there are two things which are coming out very clearly, that brick and mortar will play a very, very important role when it comes to smart cities, but at the top of it, it is an icing on the cake. But a very important and an integral part of smart cities is the information and communication technology. And this information and communication technology will actually enable the smart cities, the citizens, the officials to take smart decisions, to take informed decisions on a real-time basis. And this would actually be the key. And the second thing is, and which is, I would say a critical success factor for the success of smart cities is the collaboration between the various departments. And I think a gentleman before me from Cisco spoke about the siloed approach, which we have actually been seeing in our country for since independence. But I think it is really, really important that all the departments work very, very closely. And that is where the systems will actually enable the collaborations between the various departments. Let me present to you two use cases here. And in a very, very simplistic term, think of a smart city and we have a fire. It is very, very important that the fire department, the police, the health department are working in close conjunction to minimize loss of life and property. This is a use case. I mean, we can build multiple use cases. This can be a very, very simplistic use case which we can look at building in smart city. A second thing is, which is very common, at least I have personally witnessed it, and I'm sure most of you sitting here would have witnessed, is the moment a road is done, the next day you will see that the road is being digged again. There is somebody from the telecom department or somebody from the water department is coming here to lay his pipeline, and we are back to square one, which essentially means that the people responsible for the construction of the road are working in close conjunction with maybe a telecom department, maybe a water department, or a sewerage department. And that's exactly what I essentially mean by close collaboration. And as I said, it is ultimately the technology which would enable close collaboration between these departments. And what is helping the authorities to take smart decisions? It is essentially the data. And hence, data architectures need a very, very close look while they are defining the IT architectures for these smart cities. Having said that, We are a Fortune 500 company based out of US, and we essentially help customers to store their data, manage their data, and protect their data. We've been in this business for over 2 decades. Our headquarters is in Sunnyvale, California, USA. We operate in over 150 countries, and we have about 12,000 odd employees. We have a unique differentiator in our culture, which helps us to be a great place to work year on year. As per a recent survey, we are among the top 5 best multinationals to work globally, and India, we are among the top 20 companies to work for. So here, let me pause for a while and take you through the case study which I was referring to.
California is the 8th largest economy in the world. That exports a lot of things to a lot of countries and a lot of states. Water, oil and gas, agriculture. California affects the world. Water. Without water, there is no agricultural business in California. Without looking at how we manage these resources, it will have an impact not only in the rest of the United States, but the rest of the world. The state CIO and the governor both want to see technology provide more effective government for California. How can we use IT as a business enabler? It's information. The mandate around shared services and consolidations, we had to drive that collaboration into the IT ecosystem.
The big reason that we went with NetApp for cloud services was because of the functionality NetApp provided that other vendors didn't.
It would support our high-performance computing, our new big data analytics, our mobile strategies.
Giving us the ability to securely partition data between customers and allow customers management capability of their data.
We capture data on everything. The technology that allows us to be able to communicate quickly to the local governments, things like levee breaks or flood flows, it's incredibly important to have that data.
We are 97% virtual. We have over 8 petabytes of information. We have 300% more storage capability than we had 18 months ago. We've reduced our CapEx across the board by 42%. We've reduced our operational X by 30%. With us, a strategic partner isn't somebody that just comes along and sells us a product. NetApp products and their engineers understand where we were going. The citizens need information today, not yesterday. We have to provide time to market information to our departments so that they can operate at the speed of the citizen. California is
Let me quickly take you through some of the key messages which we heard, and maybe I want you to take them as you go back from this event. Let me quickly tell you this case study is about CNRA. CNRA is about California Natural Resource Agency, and there were about 29 departments under CNRA which decided to come together and collaborate to see some of the success which we saw in the case study. Now let us take 2 scenarios, before and after. So before they decided to collaborate, they were all working in silos, and the data was So before they came together, they were working in silos, and the data on basis of which they were taking their decisions was as old as about 30 days. That was the latest data which they had. Now imagine a situation where they are supposed to take decisions on data which is 30-day old. And I think we see some of those situations today in our country as well. Now, if you're talking of situations where you have a fire disaster or earthquake or a flood, you can't be taking decisions based on 30 days old data. It has to be on a real-time basis. So they decided to come back, and what was driving it, it was basically the budget cut. So they all decided to come together, collaborate, build a system, leveraging technologies, built a private cloud, and the biggest benefit to them was that they had data available to all of them on a real-time basis. And in a flood-like situation or in a fire-like situation, they were able to take appropriate decision. I will not get into details of that, they could optimize their CapEx or OpEx, but I think the key message which we heard from the CIO was they were able to take decisions or they were able to work at the speed of the citizens. I think that was the key. So I'm sure when you're building smart cities, it is important that it should be meeting the expectations of the city citizens in terms of the response time, in terms of the SLAs. These are some of the other footprints we have in smart cities. And since we come in Asia Pacific, I thought it would be relevant to talk about some of our deployments in Asia Pacific. China has done some work in these areas. Korea has done some work in these areas. City of Vienna happens to be one of the largest smart cities globally, and we have some work there as well. 3 or 4 areas where we see a lot of work happening globally is the traffic management system, and that's a pain point for India, and we see that the state governments and the government of India is taking enough measures to see that we come out of that mess, and we see a lot of RFPs coming in these areas. The other area where we see a lot of work happening is education, health, and the areas of governance. We see a lot of safe city projects right now. I think that's a priority at this point in time. And we see a lot of video surveillance projects. Our Honorable CM talked about the phase 1 launch of the Mumbai city surveillance. So we see a lot of work happening in these areas, and we have enough expertise and experience in these areas globally. This was about the large project which was done by the Washington DC police around video surveillance, and we have worked on those areas. We have worked with Stockholm Metro, which was again a large project undertaken by that in the areas of surveillance. And last but not the least, we have the Amsterdam Airport in Holland, who have deployed a centralized surveillance system. We have enough experience in the areas of surveillance within country. Airport Authority of India has embarked on this project for last about 4 to 5 years. Most of the airports are under CCTV surveillance, and we have the privilege to work with them. Even Delhi Metro has large footprints of video surveillance, and we have worked with them. So I think with this, I come to an end of my short presentation. I hope you found it useful. I am around. We can take a few questions at the end of this session. And with this, I would like to thank LH and the Department of Information Technology, Government of Maharashtra for giving us this opportunity. And I wish all the best for the conference and to all of you. Thank you.